being here today. How we doing? Very nice. We're all hyped up, right? We were dancing a little bit. Can we have that music back? We have the ladies in the front row dancing for us. Let's see it. Let's have the music on. Let's see you guys dance. Now they're getting shy. Come on. Yes, get up and dance. Very good, you guys. Give them a hand, everybody. Very, very nice. Welcome to True Talk. I'm your host, John Cancio. Today on the show, Psychic Ann Fisher in the house. I know we all have our questions for Ann today, right? Yeah. Welcome Ann to the show. Hi, Ann. Now, Ann, do you dance?
Sometimes. Sometimes.
Sometimes? Okay. Maybe at home in private, right?
Well, on a dance floor.
On a dance floor. Well, this is our dance floor.
Oh, come on.
Well, thank you very much for being here today. And you are a psychic medium, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. And how long have you been practicing as a psychic?
About 25 years.
25 years? Wow. When did you discover you had these abilities?
I went to a spiritualist church to find out about a Scorpio. What does a girl go to a psychic for? Usually it's romance. You know, I never got the man. But the medium told me I had psychic ability from a past life, and that's why I was there. Just like giving, I didn't have to study, I had to just do it. It worked.
Wow.
And I never could get away from it. Really?
And today we're going to be doing some hypnosis. So some people in the audience are going to pick out some people and pick out the best ones and bring them on.
Right.
You're going to get hypnotized. And have you personally been hypnotized before?
Oh, many times.
Oh, you have? And what does it feel like to be under hypnosis?
It's lovely. People love it. They just, I hypnotize people, and they hate to come out of it. It's just so relaxing.
It's like being, is it like being asleep a little bit? Or
yeah, it's like having a nice sleep, but you remember what you hear.
You remember everything,
yeah.
Don't you? Mm-hmm. Okay, so later on in the show, we'll pick out a few people. Anybody interested in that? Got some people? Oh, great. Very good.
John, you'll never do anything under hypnosis that you wouldn't normally do.
Normally do, right?
So I couldn't do anything bad with anybody because they wouldn't do it unless they were so inclined.
When you were under hypnosis, what did you discover?
Well, I discovered my last life, and then I discovered when I was psychic, which was 3 lifetimes back. I was a clairvoyant, and I lived outside of Salem. I lived in a time when they used to burn witches, and I lived on a farm, and with my father. My mother was very ill. I worked the farm, and I used to read for people. I was also could heal with herbs. And one day when I went to town, I was picked up for witchcraft and put in the stockade. And when my trial came up, the judge realized I had healed his daughter of a high fever through my herbs, and he let me go by saying I was out of his jurisdiction. So I got away. Wow. Then I moved to Boston. I couldn't stay there anymore because I was afraid I'd be picked up again.
And I know that one of your past lives, you were telling me that you were someone well known.
Oh, yeah, I had money in my last life. This life I've worked since I was 11 because my father had a business. But in my last life, I was Louise Vanderbilt.
And comparing the pictures, very similar.
I look exactly like her. And you know how I discovered this? My husband and I were waiting for a train on 42nd Street back in '85 when you used to be able to catch a train at Grand Central. And he said, Ann, would you like to go up to the Plaza Hotel for a drink? And I said, have you been there? And I said, oh, no, I've never been there. So he takes me up to the plaza, and while I was sitting in the cocktail lounge, I started to see the walls change, and I could see the women in bustles and maroon tapestry. And so I said, Dick, the last time I was here, and I started to describe it. Well, he got mad because he said, you know, you said you were never here, and then you say you are. What's up? And I said, never mind. You know how husbands can get. So anyway, before we left, I said, would you mind if I walk on the other side of the hotel around the tea area? And he said, oh, it's all right, it's all right. it was Christmas time. And as I walked around the other side of the tea area of the plaza, I went up a few steps and there was a Christmas party going on. And as I looked at the walls, it was exactly what I described. So I said to my husband, I said, this was the way the room was that we were in over there, but it wasn't a cocktail lounge, it was a dining room. And then he said, my God, you have been here before. So then I had somebody regress me because I had not been regressed. And I found out that I was Louise Vanderbilt, and I look exactly like her. If you reincarnate, many times you'll come back looking the nose, the eyes.
Very similar.
I had 76 million people, and you can't take it with you. 3 months later, I joined a Mercedes club because I had bought a classic Mercedes, and I met a man by the name of Jim Santer. And we instantly knew each other, but we didn't in this life. You know how you meet somebody and you say, well, you're familiar? But we compared schools, colleges, where we lived. Didn't compare. So I had the brochure from the Vanderbilt mansion in my pocket because I had just been researching it in the last couple months, and I carried it with me. And I looked at it, and I said, but you're Frederick Vanderbilt. Except Frederick didn't have any hair, but Jim did. But the tash, the eyes, identical. So if I just covered the hair area, he looked identical to Frederick.
Wow, so does that happen often where we connect with people in our lives?
Many times you'll meet people you've known before. Yeah. And you know why? The eyes are the windows of your soul. And you meet them through the eyes. The eyes, that's where you connect. And I look identical. Jim looks identical to Frederick. So I died in 1926, he died in 1938. He had the nerve to ask me where the money was. And I said, but I died 12 years before you. How would I know? You. But anyway, I know I married him for his money.
Did you? So you're a gold digger.
I didn't feel romantic.
That's all right.
It's a good story and it's true. Yes, you can only take your mind and your soul, maybe they're the same thing. When you die, you can't take your money. So I was born in a family where my father had a business, and I worked since I was 11. I've always worked. I've never been a housewife. But
maybe your next life.
Well, I think I had too much spare time in my last life.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, you know where I died? Right where, in the same area that Princess died, the Ritz Hotel.
Oh, really? How did you die?
I was 82 years old, and I had, Jim said I had throat cancer. I said I died of throat ailment. But he said it was throat cancer. I don't know.